I am almost ready. Let me make sure everything is live and okay before I start reading. Okay. Okay, everything's looking good. Everything's live. Well, I'm going to take a sip of water and then start reading. Hopefully I can get through the rest of Numbers today, because I'm on 26, so 11 chapters left. But they look like pretty long chapters based off of the scroll bar. This is definitely the longest chapter I've had so far in the reading. But enough yapping. I'll start reading. Numbers 26. The second resignation of Israel's troops. After the plague had ended, the Lord said to Moses and to Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, from the whole community of Israel, record the names of all the warriors by their families. List all the men 20 years old or older who are able to go to war. So there on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River across from Jericho, Moses and Eleazar, the priest, issued these instructions to the leaders of Israel. List all the men of Israel 20 years old and older, just as the Lord commanded Moses. This is the record of all the descendants of Israel who came out of Egypt. The tribe of Reuben. These were the clans descended from the sons of Reuben, Jacob's oldest son. The Hanachite clan, named after their ancestors Hanok. The Paluite clan, named after their ancestor Palu. The Hezarite clan, named after their ancestor Hezron. The Carmite clan, named after their ancestor Carmi. Sorry, I can't clear my throat. These were the clans of Reuben. Their registered troops numbered 43,730. Palu was the ancestor of Eliab, and Eliab was the father of Nemuel, Dathan, and Abraham. This Dathan and Abraham are the same community leaders who conspired with Korah against Moses and Aaron, rebelling against the Lord. But the earth opened up its mouth and swallowed them with Korah. The fire devoured 250 of their followers. This served as a warning to the entire nation of Israel. However, the sons of Korah did not die that day. The tribe of Simeon. These are the clans descended from the sons of Simeon. The Jemuelite clan, named after their ancestors Jemuel. The Jaminite clan, named after their ancestors Jamin. The Jachinite clan, named after their ancestor Jachin. The Zoarite clan, named after their ancestors Zoar. The Shaulite clan, named after their ancestor Shaul. These were the clans of Simeon. Their registered troops numbered 22,200. The tribe of Gad. These were the clans descended from the sons of Gad. The Zephonite clan, named after their ancestor Zephan. The Haggite clan, named after their ancestor Haggi. The Shunite clan, named after their ancestor Shuni. The Oznite clan, named after their ancestor Ozni. The Erite clan, named after their ancestor Eri. The Arodite clan, named after their ancestor Arodi. The Arielite clan, named after their ancestor Arli. These were the clans of Gad. Their registered troops numbered 40,500. The tribe of Judah. Judah had two sons, and Onan, who had died in the land of Canaan. These were the clans descended from Judah's surviving sons. The Shelonite clans, named after their ancestor Shelah. The Perizzite clan, named after their ancestor Perez. The Zerahite clan, named after their ancestor Zerah. These were the subclans descended from the Perizzites. The Hezronites, named after their ancestor Hezron. The Hamulites, named after their ancestor Hamuel. These were the clans of Judah. Their registered troops numbered 76,500. The tribe of Issachar. These were the clans descended from the sons of Issachar. The Toliate clan, named after their ancestor Tola. The Puite clan, named after their ancestor Pua. The Jashabite clan, named after their ancestor Jashub. The Shamronite clan, named after their ancestor Shamron. These were the clans of Issachar. Their registered troops numbered 64,300. The tribe of Zebulun. These were the clans descended from the sons of Zebulun. The Saradite clan, named after their ancestor Sarad. The Elonite clan, named after their ancestor Elon. The Jaleelite clan, named after their ancestors Jaleel. These were the clans of Zebulun. Their registered troops numbered 60,500. The tribe of Manasseh. Two clans were descended from Joseph through Manasseh and Ephraim. These were the clans descended from Manasseh. The Machirite clan, named after their ancestor Machir. The Gileadite clan, named after their ancestor Gilead, Machir's son. These were the subclans descended from the Gileadites. The Izerites, named after their ancestor Izer. The Helikites, named after their ancestor Helik. The Assyrielites, named after their ancestor Asriel. The Shechemites, named after their ancestor Shechem. The Shemedaites, named after their ancestor Shemedai. The Heferites, named after their ancestors Hefer, one of Hefer's descendants. Zolaphiah had no sons, but his daughters' names were Malah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the clans of Manasseh. Their registered troops numbered 52,700. The tribe of Ephraim. These were the clans descended from the sons of Ephraim. The Shethuelahite clan, named after their ancestor Shethuelah. No, I won't skip it. It's just very repetitive and gonna take me a while, but I'll push through. The Shethuelahite clan, named after their ancestors Shethuelah. The Becherite clan, named after their ancestor Becher. The Tahanite clan, named after their ancestor Tahan. This was the subclans descended from the Shethuelahites. The Aaronites, named after their ancestors Aaron. These were the clans of Ephraim. Their registered troops numbered 32,500. Hey Cloudy, how you doing? These clans of Manasseh and Ephraim were all descended of Joseph. I'm on a chapter where it's just a bunch of names, so I've been butchering all of them. Good and you? I'm doing pretty good. I got my last essay done for the week. My third one. I think I did okay on it, but I'll find out in a few weeks when it's graded. Can't say. You got exams again? Man, you have exams every day. At least every day I'm streaming. What time do you got them? I'll read while you type. The tribe of Benjamin. These were the clans descended from the sons of Benjamin. The Belaite clan, named after their ancestor Bela. The Eshabelite clan, named after their ancestor Ashbel. The Aharamite clan, named after their ancestor Aharam. The Shephamite clan, named after their ancestor Shepham. The Huphamite clan, named after their ancestor Huphim. These were the subclans descended from the Belaites. The Ardites, named after their ancestor Ard. The Namites, named after their ancestor Naaman. These were the clans of Benjamin. Their registered troops numbered 55,000 or 45,600. You stream whenever I have them. I had 2 this week, including today. 9:30. I should finish up. Do you want me to pray again for you? How have you been feeling on your exams? Do you need me to pray for you, or you got them? Yes, pray. Yeah, I should be done before, or wait. What time is it for you right now? Would never say no to that. Okay, so yeah, you're 30. Well, you're super far ahead of me. But basically, I can just think 30 minutes and just imagine you're in PM right now. Uh, yeah, I should be done before your exam, so I'll pray for you then. But I got some reading to do because I plan on getting through Numbers today. I got 11 chapters left. Or 10 and a half, really. Yeah, no problem. Good luck on the exam. I'll pray and have a good day. The tribe of Dan. These were the clans descended from the... Have fun, hope. Yeah, thanks. These were the clans descended from the sons of Dan. The Shahamite clan, named after their ancestor Shaham. These were the Shahmite clans of Dan. Their registered troops numbered 64,400. The tribe of Asher. These were the clans descended from the sons of Asher. The Imnite clan, named after the ancestor Imnah. The Ishvite clan, named after their ancestor Ishvi. The Beerite clan, named after their ancestor Beria. These were the subclans descended from the Beerites. The Herberites, named after their ancestor Heber. The Malchielites, named after their ancestor Malchiel. Asher also had a daughter named Sarah, or Sira. These were the clans of Asher. Their registered troops numbered 53,400. The tribe of Naphtali. These were the clans descended from the sons of Naphtali. The Jezreelite clan, named after their ancestor Jeziel. The Gunite clan, named after their ancestor Guni. The Jerizite clan, named after their ancestor Jezer. The Shilamite clan, named after their ancestor Shilem. These were the clans of Naphtali. Their registered troops numbered 45,400. Results of the resignation. In summary, the registered troops of all Israel numbered 601,730. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Divide the land among the tribes, and distribute the grants of land in proportion to the tribe's population, as indicated by the number of names on the list. Give the larger tribes more land, and the smaller tribes less land, each group receiving a grant in proportion to the size of its population." but you must assign the land by lot, and give land to each ancestral tribe according to the number of the names on the list. Each grant of land must be assigned by lot among the larger and smaller tribal groups. The tribe of Levi. This is the record of the Levites, who were counted according to their clans. The Gershonite clan, named after their ancestor Gershon. The Kohathite clan, named after their ancestor Kohath. And the Merarite clan, named after their ancestor Merari. Hey, how you doing, Flame? Right now I'm really struggling through all these names. This chapter is just basically a list of all the clans of Israel at the time. So I'm really struggling through them. The Libnites, the Hebronites, the Malites, the Mushites, and the Koraites were all subclans of the Levites. Now Kohath was the ancestor of Amram, and Amram's wife was named Jochebed. She also was a descendant of Levi, born among the Levites in the land of Egypt. Amram and Jochebed became the parents of Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. Oh, hey Josiah, how you doing? Also, you struggling with all the words? They are definitely hard to pronounce. Yeah. I'm in a Bible study now, and something they do is before they read a book of the Bible, they watch this one, I forgot what it was titled, but it's basically just like a short video summarizing it, and they have all the pronunciations of the names. So I'm definitely going to do that for Deuteronomy. So I will struggle a little less. But yeah, I'm almost done with this chapter, and then we can chat after I finish this one. It's a pretty long chapter. To Aaron were born Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they burned before the Lord the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded. The men from the Levite clans, who were 1 month old or older, numbered 23,000. But the Levites were not included in the registration of the rest of the people of Israel, because they were not given an allotment of land when it was divided among the Israelites. So these are the results of the registration of the people of Israel, as conducted by Moses and Eleazar, the priest, on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Not one person on this list had been among those listed in the previous registration taken by Moses and Aaron in the wilderness of Sinai. For the Lord had said to them, "They will all die in the wilderness." Not one of them survived, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Okay, let me get water and then check all the chats. I've heard that, yeah, I gotta find which ones they're using. Because in the Bible study, we're going through, 1 Peter right now. Every week we just read one chapter. And yeah, so we basically read like a few few verses and discuss that for like 15 minutes, like every section of verses. So like it's a really in-depth conversation. And I actually plan on meeting one of the guys from the Bible study this weekend after church. And yeah, we're going to discuss some things about a way we could spread the gospel on campus without being intrusive. Because I don't want to be one of the people who walks up to people like, "Can I ask you about your faith?" Nice. 1 Peter is good, bro. Yeah, that makes sense. I love those in-depth conversations. Yeah, and it's like we had like 20-some people on Tuesday. So it was like packed. We were all in this one guy's house in his living room. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll start reading this chapter and I'll check your chats after the chapter. Numbers 27. The daughters of Zelophehad. One day a petition was presented by the daughters of Zelophehad, Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Their father, Zelophehad, was a descendant of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph. These women stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the tribal leaders, and the entire community at the entrance of the tabernacle. Our father died in the wilderness, they said. He was not among Korah's followers, who rebelled against the Lord. He died because of his own sin. But he had no sons. Why should the name of our father disappear from his clan, just because he had no sons? Give us property along with the rest of our relatives. So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord replied to Moses, The claim of the daughters of Zelophehad is legitimate. You must give them a grant of land along with their father's relatives. Assign them the property that would have been given to their father. And give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If a man dies and has no son, then give his inheritance to his daughters. And if he has no daughters either, transfer his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. But if his father has no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan. This is a legal requirement for the people of Israel, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Joshua chosen to lead Israel. One day the Lord said to Moses, Climb one of the mountains east of the river, and look out over the land I have given the people of Israel. After you have seen it, you will die like your brother Aaron, for you both rebelled against my instructions in the wilderness of Zin. When the people of Israel rebelled, you failed to demonstrate my holiness, to give them my holiness to them at the waters. These are the waters of Meribah at Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses said to the Lord, O Lord, you are the God who gives breath to all creatures. Please appoint a new man as leader for the community. Give them someone who will guide them wherever they go, and will lead them into battle, so the community of the Lord will not be like sheep without a shepherd. The Lord replied, Take Joshua son of Nun, who has the Spirit in him, and lay your hands on him. Present him to Eleazar, the priest, before the whole community, and publicly commission him to lead the people. Transfer some of your authority to him, so the whole community of Israel will obey him. When direction from the Lord is needed, Joshua will stand before Eleazar the priest, who will use the Urim, one of the sacred lots cast before the Lord, to determine his will. This is how Joshua and the rest of the community of Israel will determine everything they should do. So Moses did as the Lord commanded. He presented Joshua to Eleazar the priest and the whole community. Moses laid his hands on him and commissioned him to lead the people, just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. We should eventually get the table open and spread the gospel that way, and then ask questions about religion, but also like the government too, if that makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and if I do set up a table or something, I'd want the chats to be strictly about religion or strictly about like politics and the government, because I feel like I don't want to set like a negative precedent for people who aren't that religious and like already have negative thoughts about like Christianity, and then they hear like my beliefs for politics and they're like, they just hate me even more, and like I feel like that might drive some people away from religion, like Christianity, if they also disagree with me on like a lot of politics. So like it'd be one or the other, you know? Yeah, we can do a religion one first and then Like the next time government, yeah. Uh, I think just depending on whatever the feeling is, like if we do the religious one and it goes really well, we could just keep doing that one. If we do the religious one, no one comes up to talk. We could try political one. If people come up to talk, maybe next time we'll do a religious one, hoping more people, like the people from that time, come. We could figure it out when we get there. Let me check all the chats. Okay, I'll keep reading. Yeah, I do agree with that. Numbers 28, the daily offerings. The Lord said to Moses, "Give these instructions to the people of Israel. The offerings you present as special gifts are a pleasing aroma to me. They are my food. See to it that they are brought at the appointed times and offered according to my instructions. Say to the people, this is the special gift you must present to the Lord as your daily burnt offering. You must offer 2 one-year-old male lambs with no defects. Sacrifice 1 lamb in the morning, and the other in the evening. With each lamb, you must offer a grain offering of 2 quarts of choice flour mixed with 1 quart of pure oil of pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Along with it, you must present the proper liquid offering of 1 quart of alcoholic drink with each lamb, poured out in the holy place as an offering to the Lord. Offer the second lamb in the evening with the same grain offering and liquid offering. It, too, is a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The Sabbath offerings. On the Sabbath day, sacrifice 2 one-year-old male lambs with no defects. They must be accompanied by a grain offering of 4 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil, and a liquid offering. This is a burnt offering to be presented each Sabbath day, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its accompanying liquid offering. Monthly offerings. On the first day of each month, present an extra burnt offering to the Lord, or of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These must be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts for each lamb. This burnt offering will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. You must also present a liquid offering with each sacrifice, 2 quarts of wine for each bull, 1/3 of a gallon for the ram, and 1 quart for each lamb. Present this monthly burnt offering on the first day of each month throughout the year. On the first day of each month, you must also offer 1 male goat for a sin offering to the Lord. This is in addition to the regular burnt offering and its accompanying liquid offering. How did I like Genesis? Genesis was good. Not how I remembered, but when I was little, they couldn't necessarily teach me all the things they talk about. A lot of the stuff are like super heavy topics for kids, like can't really get into them with them. They wouldn't understand it and it wouldn't be good for them to hear. Offerings for the Passover. On the 14th day of the first month, you must celebrate the Lord's Passover. On the following day, the 15th day of the month, a joyous 7-day festival will begin, but no bread made with yeast may be eaten. The first day of the festival will be an official day for holy assembly, and no ordinary work may be done on that day. As a special gift, you must present a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs. 1 ram, not lambs. All with no defects. These will be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. You must also offer a male goat as a sin offering to purify yourselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. Present these offerings in addition to your regular morning burnt offering, 1 each of the 7 days of the festival. This is how you must prepare the food offering that is presented as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. There will be offered These will be offered in addition to the regular burnt offerings and liquid offerings. The seventh day of the festival will be another official day for Holy Assembly, and no ordinary work may be done on that day. Offering for the festival harvest. At the festival harvest, when you present the first of your new grain to the Lord, you must call an official day for Holy Assembly, and you may do no ordinary work on that day. Present a special burnt offering on that day as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs. These will be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. Also, offer 1 male goat to purify yourselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. Prepare these special burnt offerings, along with the liquid offerings, in addition to the regular burnt offering, and its accompanying grain offering. Be sure that all the animals you sacrifice have no defects. Okay, yeah, me and you can talk about it if you want sometime. Yeah, totally. Do you want to come to my church, on Sunday? 'Cause like after church, I'm just going with the dude to Chiba Hut. Like I could introduce you to him. I have mentioned you 'cause like I mentioned how like you're the guy I went to originally. Like if I had any question. What translation is this? This is the New Living Testament. Just 'cause I'm dumb and I can't understand the other translations. I have 1 second. I did get at church, I got like a physical Bible, which I was thinking about reading, but I feel like it'd be weird if I was streaming and you guys could just see this and like you couldn't see what I was reading. I feel like it might be hard following along. But I have an English Standard Version. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. And let me go to like the chapter I'm on, 29. I'm just gonna real quick compare them. On the first day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not do any ordinary work. It is a day for you to blow the trumpets, and you shall offer a burnt offering for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. 1 bull from the herd, 1 ram, 7 male lambs, a year old without blemish. Also the grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with one male goat for a sin offering, to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering of the new... This is why I have to read the New Living Testament. I really struggle with the English Standard Version. Sometimes something like King James Version can be very hard to understand. Yeah, like even just the English Standard Version, that's the one I was just reading. I struggle with it a lot. It's just like the wording is hard to like comprehend for me, and then I get stuck reading. It's like stuttery in a way. Oh, that sounds good. I'm down this Sunday. Okay, yeah, I could. Want me to pick you up on Sunday and take you to church? To my church? It starts at 9:30, so you don't have to be up super early, but I'd probably grab you at like 8:50, just so we're not late. So be ready by like 8:50, I'd say. Now I'm going to read this version you guys can see. Numbers 29. Offerings for the Festival of Trumpets. Celebrate the Festival of Trumpets each year on the first day of the appointed month in early autumn. You must call an official day for holy assembly, and you may do no ordinary work. On that day, you must present a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These must be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with the bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. In addition, you must sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering to purify yourselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. These special sacrifices are in addition to your regular monthly and daily burnt offerings, and they must be given with their prescribed grain offerings and liquid offerings. These offerings are given as a special gift to the Lord, a pleasing aroma to Him. Yeah, it's very hard for me too. I have a New King James. Also, yes, pick me up. Can my brother? Yeah, 100%. Just be ready by 8:50. I should be there around that time, and yeah, you don't have to wear anything super nice. Like, it's a very casual church, but it's also not super. It's like pretty small, so we might struggle finding a seat if we're too late. Offerings for the Day of Atonement. 10 days later, on the 10th day of the same month, you must call another holy assembly. On that day, the Day of Atonement, the people must go without food and must do no ordinary work. You must present a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These offerings must be accompanied by the prescribed grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts of choice flour with the bull, 4 quarts of choice flour with the ram, and 2 quarts of choice flour with each of the 7 lambs. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat for a sin offering. This is in addition to the sin offering of atonement and the regular daily burnt offering, with its grain offering, and their accompanying liquid offerings. Okay, sounds good. I'll dress casually. Yeah, just like, you just need to wear, like, I don't know, jeans, and don't wear your wife beater. Something with sleeves, preferably. They can be short, but gotta have sleeves. Offerings for the Festival of Shelters. 5 days later, on the 15th day of the same month, you must call another holy assembly of all the people, and you may do no ordinary work on that day. It is the beginning of the Festival of Shelters, a 7-day festival to the Lord. On the first day of the festival, you must present a burnt offering as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Sorry, let me have it will consist of 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings must be accompanied by a grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts for each of the 13 bulls, 4 quarts for each of the 2 rams, and 2 quarts for each of the 14 lambs. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering, with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the second day of the 7-day festival, sacrifice 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering, with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 3rd day of the festival, sacrifice 11 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 4th day of the festival, sacrifice 10 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offerings with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 5th day of the festival, sacrifice 9 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 6th day of the festival, sacrifice 8 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 7th day of the festival, sacrifice 7 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 8th day of the festival, proclaim another holy day. You must do no ordinary work on that day. You must present a burnt offering as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of one young bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. You must present these offerings to the Lord at your annual festivals. These are in addition to the sacrifices and offerings you present in connection with vows or as voluntary offerings, burnt offerings, grain offerings, liquid offerings, or peace offerings. So Moses gave all these instructions to the people of Israel as the Lord had commanded him. Gotta get water after that one. Let me check all the chats because I've been neglecting the other services. Nothing. All good. So we continue. This is a short one. Numbers 30. Laws concerning vows. Then Moses summoned the leaders of the tribes of Israel and told them, "This is what the Lord had commanded. A man who makes a vow to the Lord or makes a pledge under oath must never break it. He must do exactly what he said he would do. If a young woman makes a vow, I'm still stuck saying the young bull. If a young woman makes a vow to the Lord or a pledge under oath while she is still living at her father's home, and her father hears of the vow or pledge and does not object to it, then all her vows and pledges will stand. But if her father refuses to let her fulfill the vow or pledge on the day he hears it, then all her vows and pledges will become invalid. The Lord will forgive her because her father would not let her fulfill them. Now suppose a young woman makes a vow or binds herself with an impulsive pledge and later marries. If her husband learns of her vow or pledges and does not object on the day he hears it, her vows and pledges will stand. But if her husband refuses to accept her vow or impulse pledge on the day he hears it, he nullifies her commitments, and the Lord will forgive her. If, however, a woman is a widow or is divorced, she must fulfill all her vows and pledges. But suppose a woman is married and living in her husband's home when she makes a vow or binds herself with a pledge. If her husband hears of it and does not object to it, her vow and pledge will stand. But if her husband refuses to accept it on the day he hears it, her vow or pledge will be nullified, and the Lord will forgive her. So her husband may either confirm or nullify any vows or pledges she makes to deny herself. But if he does not object on the day he hears of it, then he is agreeing to all her vows and pledges. If he waits more than a day, and then he tries to nullify a vow or pledge, he will be punished for her guilt. These are the regulations the Lord gives Moses concerning relationships between a man and his wife, and between a father and a young daughter who still lives at home. I'll bro drink water. Also, be ready by that time. I'll fix my sleep schedule too. Yeah, just wake up by like, I don't know how long it takes you to get ready. I'm gonna wake up at like 7, just so I'm not rushed. Man, all these chapters are so long. They get shorter as they go. Let me check the chats. No one, all good. Numbers 31. Conquest of the Midianites. Then the Lord said to Moses, on behalf of the people of Israel, take revenge on the Midianites for leading them into idolatry. After that, you will die and join your ancestors. So Moses said to the people, choose some men and arm them to fight the Lord's war of revenge against Midian. From each tribe of Israel, send 1,000 men into battle. So they chose 1,000 men from each tribe of Israel, a total of 12,000 men armed for battle. Then Moses sent them out, 1,000 men from each tribe, and Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the priest, led them into battle. They carried along the holy objects of the sanctuary and the trumpets for sounding the charge. They attacked Midian as the Lord had commanded Moses, and they killed all the men. All 5 of the Midianite kings, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, died in battle. They also killed Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. Then the Israelite army captured the Midianite women and children, and seized their cattle and flocks, and all their wealth as plunder. They burned all the towns and villages where the Midianites had lived. After they had gathered the plunder and captives, both people and animals, they brought them all to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the whole community of Israel, which was camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the community went to meet them outside the camp. But Moses was furious with the generals and captains who had returned from battle. Why have you let all the women live? Whoa. Why have you let all the women live? He demanded. These are the very ones who followed Balaam's advice and caused the people of Israel to rebel against the Lord of Mount Peor. They are the ones who caused the plague to strike the Lord's people. So kill all the boys and all the women who had intercourse with a man. Only the young girls who are virgins may live. You may keep them for yourselves. This is crazy. What? And all of you who have killed anyone or touched a dead body must stay outside the camp for 7 days. You must purify yourselves and your captives on the 3rd and 7th days. Purify all your clothing too, and everything made of leather, goat hair, or wood. Then Eleazar the priest said to the men who were in battle, the Lord has given Moses this legal requirement. Anything made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, or lead, that is all metals that do not burn, must be passed through fire in order to be made ceremonially pure. These metal objects must then be further purified with the water of purification. But everything that burns must be purified by water alone. On the 7th day, you must wash your clothes and be purified. Then you may return to the camp. Division of the plunder. And the Lord said to Moses, you and Eleazar the priest and the family leaders of each tribe are to make a list of all the plunder taken in the battle, including the people and animals. Then divide the plunder into 2 parts, and give half to the men who fought the battle, and half to the rest of the people. From the army's portion, first give the Lord his share of the plunder, 1 of every 500 of the prisoners and of the cattle, donkeys, sheep, and goats. Give this share of the army's half to Eleazar the priest as an offering to the Lord. From the half that belongs to the people of Israel, take 1 of every 50 of the prisoners and of the cattle, donkeys, sheep, goats, and other animals. Give this share to the Levites, who are in charge of maintaining the Lord's tabernacle. So Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. The plunder remaining from everything the fighting men had taken totaled 675,000 sheep and goats, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 virgin girls. Half of the plunder was given to the fighting men. It totaled 337,500 sheep and goats, of which 675 were the Lord's share, 36,000 cattle, of which 72 were the Lord's share, 30,500 donkeys, of which 61 were the Lord's share, and 16,000 virgin girls, of whom 32 were the Lord's share. Moses gave all the Lord's shares to Eleazar the priest, just as the Lord had directed him. Half of the plunder belonged to the people of Israel, and Moses separated it from the half belonging to the fighting men. It totaled 337,500 sheep and goats, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 virgin girls. From the half share given to the people, Moses took one of every 50 prisoners and animals and gave them to the Levites, who maintained the Lord's tabernacle. All this was done as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then all the generals and captains came to Moses and said, "We, your servants, have accounted for all the men who went out to battle under our command. Not one of us is missing. So we are presenting the items of gold we captured as an offering to the Lord from our share of the plunder, armbands, bracelets, rings, earrings, and necklaces. This will purify our lives before the Lord and make us right with him." So Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from all the military commanders, all kinds of jewelry and crafted objects. In all, the gold that the generals and captains presented as a gift to the Lord weighed 420,000, stuck on the 1,000, about 420 pounds. All the men fighting had taken some of the plunder for themselves. So Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gifts from the generals and captains and brought the gold to the tabernacle as a reminder to the Lord that the people of Israel belonged to him. Why have you let the women live? Old Testament can sometimes be like that, lol. Keep in mind that things like this are specifically for the ancient culture of Israel and not New Testament law. Things were harsh for everyone back then. Yeah, the Old Testament really can be super intense just because of laws they had and other factors. Yeah, one that really stuck out to me was, what was it in? Was it in Exodus? Or no, I think it was in Genesis. There was a story of two angels visiting this one man in, was it in Goshen? Like, two angels visited this one man in a city full of sin, and all the men of the town, like, were banging on his door, demanding that they give him, that he gives them the two angels so they could have sex with them. And the dude's like, "I'm not going to give you the angels, but I have two virgin daughters." And that is just wild. Yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, when I read that, I immediately thought, like, so this is what they weren't teaching me in school. Like, it's intense, the things that happened. I knew one of them started with a G. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's crazy, yeah. And then later in that story, when they, like, escaped, or when they ran away, the daughters didn't want to leave, they didn't want their family name, like, their name to end. So they got their father drunk, and you can fill in the gaps. Like, it's messed up, like, what happened. Yeah, it's hard to imagine from a modern perspective. Like, it's just, the only thing you can say is times were different back then. Let me check all the chats that aren't just Twitch. No chats besides what's going on Twitch. Makes it easier for me. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading, and since I finally have people chatting, I might check after each, like, section, like, when there's a bold name, like, I'd read to... Well, of course, this one is just the entire chapter. But like, I'd read to just when I see the bolded names. Yeah, all of it was messed up from right now, but laws and so much more was different. It's crazy how much has changed. Yeah, I feel like a big part is uh Jesus dying for our sins. You don't need to sacrifice 16,000 virgin girls, which is a big positive, I'd say. That's major improvement. But I'm gonna read this chapter, then I'll check the chats again. Numbers 32, the tribes east of Jordan. Oh, is it gonna be a bunch of names? Yeah, it's gonna be a bunch of names. The tribes of Reuben and Gad owned vast numbers of livestock. So when they saw the lands of Jazer and Gilead were ideally suited for their flocks and herds, they came to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the other leaders of the community. They said, "Notice the towns of Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elilah, Sibmah, Nebo, and Beon. The Lord has conquered this whole area for the community of Israel, and is ideally suited for all our livestock. If we have found favor with you, please let us have this land as our property instead of giving us the land across the Jordan River." "Do you intend to stay here while your brothers go across and do all the fighting?" Moses asked the men of Gad and Reuben. "Why do you want to discourage the rest of the people of Israel from going across to the land the Lord has given them? Your ancestors did the same thing when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. After they went up to the valley of Eshcol and explored the land, they discouraged the people of Israel from entering the land the Lord was giving them. Then the Lord was very angry with them, and he vowed, 'Of all those I rescued from Egypt, no one who is 20 years old or older will ever see the land I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for they have not obeyed me wholeheartedly.' The only exceptions are Caleb, Joseph, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun, for they have wholeheartedly followed the Lord. The Lord was angry with Israel and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the entire generation that sinned in the Lord's sight had died. But here you are, a brood of sinners, doing exactly the same thing. You are making the Lord even angrier with Israel. If you turn away from him like this, and he abandons them again in the wilderness, you will be responsible for destroying this entire nation." But they approached Moses and said, "We simply want to build pens for our livestock and fortify towers for our wives and children," or fortified towns. "Then we will arm ourselves and lead our fellow Israelites into battle until we have brought them safely to their land. Meanwhile, our families will stay in the fortified towns we build here, so they will be safe from any attacks by the local people. We will not return to our homes until all the people of Israel have received their portions of land. But we do not claim any of the land on the other side of the Jordan. We would rather live here on the east side and accept this as our grant of land." Then Moses said, "If you keep your word and arm yourselves for the Lord's battles, and if your troops cross the Jordan and keep fighting until the Lord has driven out his enemies, then you may return when the Lord has conquered the land. You will have fulfilled your duty to the Lord and to the rest of the people of Israel. And the land on the east side of Jordan will be your property from the Lord. But if you fail to keep your word, then you will have sinned against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Go ahead and build towns for your families and pens for your flocks, but do everything you have promised." Then the men of Gad and Reuben replied, "We, your servants, will follow your instructions exactly. Our children, wives, flocks, and cattle will stay here in the towns of Gilead. But all who are able to bear arms will cross over to fight for the Lord, just as you have said." So Moses gave orders to Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders of the clans of Israel. He said, The men of Gad and Reuben who are armed for battle must cross the Jordan with you to fight for the Lord. If they do, give them the land of Gilead as their property when the land is conquered. But if they refuse to arm themselves and cross over with you, then they must accept the land with the rest of you in the land of Canaan. The tribes of Gad and Reuben said again, "We are your servants, and we will do as the Lord has commanded. We will cross the Jordan into Canaan, fully armed to fight for the Lord. But our property will be here on this side of the Jordan." So Moses assigned the land to the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph. He gave them the territory of King Sihon of the Amorites, and the land of King Og of Bashan, the whole land with its cities and surrounding lands. The descendants of Gad built towns in Dibon, Adaroth, Aoror, Shaphan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Horon. These were all fortified towns with pens for their flocks. The descendants of Reuben built the towns of Heshbon, Elileh, Kiriathaim, Nebo, Baal-meon, and Sibmah. They changed the names of some of the towns they conquered and rebuilt. Then the descendants of Machir, of the tribe of Manasseh, went to Gilead and conquered it, and they drove out the Amorites living there. So Moses gave Gilead to the Machirites, descendants of Manasseh, and they settled there. The people of Jair, another clan of the tribe of Manasseh, captured many of the towns in Gilead, and changed the name of the region to the towns of Jair. Meanwhile, a man named Nobah captured the town of Kenneth and its surrounding villages, and he renamed the area Nobah after himself. Water and check chats. Oh, hey TJ, how you doing? Jeez, my throat hurts after reading that one. Felt like it was super long. But God still forgave Israel and gave them second chances. It is great to know that His mercy was present even in such a lawless place as the one described in the Old Testament. The consistency between Old and New Testament, especially in narrative and prophecy, is so common. Yeah, this is the first time I'm reading it front to back, just reading all of it. I haven't read much of the Bible. So I'm excited to see how they connect, because right now they feel like completely different things, from what I was taught about Jesus being super loving and Moses commanding them to kill all the women. Very different, but I want to see how they connect as I read. Let me check the other chats. Appears as no chats besides just Twitch, but that's okay. You're chilling. That's good to hear. How long is this next chapter? This is probably the most people I've had watching one of my Bible streams. Okay, this chapter is it's a little longer than normal. I like this. Focusing on something bigger than yourself is really good in my opinion. Bro, it's so amazing how they connect the Bible. It's so beautiful with the way it works and the stories align together. Yeah, they're talking about that at the church I go to. Or they did last time. Or no, actually it was during the Salt Company thing. It's like a student-led church. But it's in the same building. And they kept on talking about how crazy the Old Testament is. But then they kept on picking out verses that are direct prophecies that were fulfilled in the New Testament. And they're I don't even know the separation, 1,000 years apart or hundreds of years apart. Crazy distances, yeah, I want to see how they connect. And what do I like this focusing on something bigger than yourself is really good. Yeah. Uh, because there's not much to focus with myself. I'm kind of boring. So, but but God and Jesus is in. They're interesting. The Bible is very, very interesting. Let me. I'm actually gonna be right back. I gotta fill up my water. Uh, but yeah, I will be back. I'm back. Drew, Lamau, Sam, I don't get the whole self-discovery thing. What self-discovery thing? Saying like how there's more beyond ourselves. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of new to Christianity, so I got a lot of questions and no answers. Uh, but like it's fun having these questions because like I don't know, but I think they're gonna be answered, hopefully. As I keep reading. And if they're not, it's just something I gotta have faith in. Uh, but yeah. I'm gonna keep reading because I do want to finish Numbers today, and I think we got 4 more chapters. One, two, yeah, 4. And I gotta finish before 9 because someone wanted me to pray for them. Yeah, they have an exam at 9:30. Uh, but that's 9 my time. So I got plenty of time. I shouldn't be stressed about the time. But yeah, just want to get a prayer in because they asked for it before their exam. Numbers 33. Remembering Israel's journey. This is the route the Israelites followed as they marched out of Egypt under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. We're going back to Exodus. At the Lord's direction, Moses kept a written record of their progress. These are the stages of their march and identified by the different places where they stopped along the way. They set out from the city of Ramses in early spring on the 15th day of the first month. On the morning after the first Passover celebration, the people of Israel left defiantly in full view of all the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn sons, whom the Lord had killed the night before. The Lord had defeated the gods of Egypt that night, and with great acts of judgment. After leaving Ramses, the Israelites set up camp in Succoth. They left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. They left Etham and turned back towards Pi Hahiroth, opposite Baal-zephon, and camped near Migdol. They left Pi-hahiroth, these are really hard to pronounce if you don't know how to, and crossed the Red Sea into the wilderness beyond. They traveled for 3 days into Etham wilderness and camped at Merom. They left Merom and camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 17 palm trees. They left Elim and camped beside the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah. They left Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Rissa. They left Rissa and camped at Kehelatha. They left Kelahatha and camped at Mount Shepher. They left Mount Shepher and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Mechheloth. They left Mechheloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithkah. They left Mithkah and camped at Hashmoneh. They left Hashmoneh and camped at Moserith. They left Moserith and camped at Bene Jaakan. They left Bene Jaakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. They left Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. This is really difficult. I'm so sorry. They left Jotbatha and camped at Abranah. They left Abranah and camped at Ezion Geber. They left Ezion Geber and camped at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor at the border of Edom. While they were at the foot of Mount Hor, Aaron the priest was directed by the Lord to go up the mountain, and there he died. This happened in midsummer on the first day of the 5th month of the 14th year after Israel's departure from Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died there on Mount Hor. At that time, the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, in the land of Canaan, heard that the people of Israel were approaching his land. Meanwhile, the Israelites left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmoneh. They left Zalmoneh and camped at Punon. They left Punon and camped at Obath. They left Obath and camped at Aye Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Aye Abarim and camped at Dibon Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim. They left Almon Diblathaim and camped in the mountains east of the river, near Mount Nebo. They left the mountains east of the river and camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Along the Jordan River they camped at Beth Jeshimoth, as far as the meadows of Acacia, on the plains of Moab. While they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab opposite of Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan River into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the people living there. You must destroy all their carved and molten images and demolish all their pagan shrines. Take possession of the land and settle in it, because I have given it to you to occupy. You must distribute the land among the clans by sacred lot and in proportion to their size. A large portion of land will be allotted to each of their large clans, and a smaller portion will be allotted to each of their smaller clans. The decision of the sacred lot is final, In this way, the portions of land will be divided among your ancestral tribes. But if you fail to drive out the people who live in the land, those who remain will be like splinters in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will harass you in the land where you live, and I will do to you what I had planned to do to them. Oh, I need water. And I gotta check chats. Oh, that emote? That emote was a... So I made this emote first. And... one of my viewers kept on posting or sending an emote of someone chewing. And so in response I made this one to defend the other one. And then it just devolved from there. My favorite one is probably this one. I just made it recently. Let me check the other chats though. Okay, nothing happening, but that's all good. Yeah, I keep reading. After I take another sip of water. Numbers 34. Boundaries of the land. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give these instructions to the Israelites. When you come into the land of Canaan, which I am giving you as your special possession, these will be the boundaries. The southern portion of your country will extend from the wilderness of Zin along the edge of Edom. The southern border will begin on the east at the Dead Sea. It will then run south past Scorpion Pass in the direction of Zin. Its southernmost point will be Kadesh Barnea, from which it will go to Hazar Adar and on to Asman. From Asman, the boundary will turn towards the brook of Egypt and end at the Mediterranean Sea. The western boundary will be the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. Your north boundary will begin at the Mediterranean Sea and run east to Mount Hor. Then to Lebo Hamath, and on through Zedad and Ziphron to Enan. This will be your northern boundary. The eastern boundary will start at Hazar Enan and run south of Shepham, then down to Riblah on the east side of Ain. From there the boundary will run down along the eastern edge of the Sea of Galilee, and then along the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. These are the boundaries of your land. Then Moses told the Israelites, "This territory is the homeland you are to divide among yourselves by sacred lot. The Lord has commanded that the land be divided among the 9.5 remaining tribes. The families of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh have already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho toward the sunrise." Oh, I'm struggling right now. I'm getting tongue-tied. Leaders to divide the land. And the Lord said to Moses, "Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun are the men designated to divide the grants of land among the people. Enlist one leader from each tribe to help them with the task. These are the tribes and the names of the leaders." So for tribe of Judah, the leader was Caleb son of Jephunneh. Tribe of Simeon, leader Shemuel son of Ammihud. Tribe of Benjamin, leader Elidad son of Kislon. Tribe of Dan, leader Bucky son of Jogli. Tribe of Manasseh son of Joseph, leader Haniel son of Ephod. Tribe Ephraim, son of Joseph. Leader Kemuel, son of Shiphitan. Tribe Zebulun. Leader Elizaphan, son of Parnak. Tribe Issachar. Leader Paltiel, son of Azan. Tribe of Asher. Leader Ahihud, son of Shelomi. Tribe of Naphtali. Leader Pedahel, son of Ammihud. These are the men the Lord has appointed to divide the grants of land in Canaan among the Israelites. Water, and then we got 2 more chapters left, and then I'm probably going to end stream. I just want to finish Numbers today. How many chapters are in Deuteronomy? Only 34. I might be able to knock that out in 3 streams, depending on the length of the chapters. Let me check all the chats so I'm not leaving anyone out. Nothing in Kick, nothing in YouTube. All good. Numbers 35. Towns for the Levites. While Israel was camped beside the Jordan on the plains of Moab across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the people of Israel to give to the Levites from their property certain towns to live in, along with the surrounding pasture lands. These towns will be for the Levites to live in, and the surrounding lands will provide pasture for their cattle, flocks, and other livestock. The pasture land assigned to the Levites around these towns will extend 1,500 feet from the town walls in every direction. Measure off 3,000 feet outside the town walls in every direction, east, south, west, north, with the town at the center. This area will serve as the larger pasture land for the towns." I gotta go. It was nice being here. You're the best. Hey, thanks. Have you followed me? Because if not, you should drop a follow before you go. And pop in next time I do one of these streams. I'll keep reading and then... Yeah, I'll keep reading. I'll keep an eye on chat though. 6 of the towns you give to the Levites will be cities of refuge, where a person who has accidentally killed someone can flee for safety. In addition, give them 42 other towns, and all 48 towns with the surrounding pasture land will be given to the Levites. These towns will come from the property of the people of Israel. The larger tribes will give more towns to the Levites, while the smaller tribes will give fewer. Each tribe will give property in portion to the size of its land. Yeah, I have followed you. I'll be here next stream. Take care. Yeah, thanks. I don't know when I'll do my next one, but I might do it tomorrow if I... Yeah, I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'll try and get 10 chapters done of Deuteronomy. Have a good one, though. Thanks for tuning in and chatting. Cities of refuge. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities of refuge to which people can flee if they have killed someone accidentally. These cities will be placed of protection from a dead person's relatives who want to avenge the death. The slayer must not be put to death before being tried by the community. Designate 6 cities of refuge for yourselves, 3 on the east side of the Jordan River and 3 on the west in the land of Canaan. These cities are for the protection of Israelites, foreigners living among you, and traveling merchants. Anyone who accidentally kills someone may flee there for safety. But if someone strikes and kills another person with a piece of iron, it is murder, and the murderer must be executed. Or if someone with a stone in his hand strikes and kills another person, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. Or if someone strikes and kills another person with a wooden object, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. The victim's nearest relative is responsible for putting the murderer to death. When they meet, the avenger must put the murderer to death. So if someone hates another person and waits to ambush, then pushes him or throws something at him and he dies, it is murder. Or if someone hates another person and hits him with his fist and he dies, it is murder. In such cases, the avenger must put the murderer to death when they meet. But suppose someone pushes another person without having shown previous hostility, or throws something that unintentionally hits another person, or accidentally drops a huge stone on someone, though they were not enemies and the person dies. If this should happen, the community must follow these regulations in making a judgment between the slayer and the avenger, the victim's nearest relative. The community must protect the slayer from the avenger and must escort the slayer back to live in the city of refuge to which he fled. There he must remain until the death of the high priest, who was anointed with the sacred oil. But if the slayer ever leaves the limits of the city of refuge, and the avenger finds him outside the city and kills him, it will not be considered murder. The slayer should have stayed inside the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But if after the death of the high priest the slayer may return to his own property, these are legal requirements for you to observe from generation to generation where you may live. All murderers must be put to death, but only if evidence is presented by more than one witness. No one may be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Also, you must never accept a ransom payment for the life of someone judged guilty of murder and subject to execution. Murderers must always be put to death, and never accept a ransom payment from someone who has fled a city of refuge, allowing a slayer to return to his property before the death of the high priest. This will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land, and no sacrifice except the execution of the murderer can purify the land from murder. You must not defile the land where you live, for I live there myself. I am the Lord, who lives among the people of Israel. Water, and then the final chapter. This one looks pretty short, so let's see what time. Not bad for how long these chapters were. Let me check all the chats. Don't see anything, so we continue on. Numbers 36. Women who inherit property. Then the heads of the clans of Gilead, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph, came to Moses and the family leaders of Israel with a petition. They said, "Sir, the Lord instructed you to divide the land by sacred lot among the people of Israel. You were told by the Lord to give the grant of land owned by our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. But if they marry men from another tribe, their grants of land will go with them to the tribe into which they marry. In this way, the total area of our tribal land will be reduced. Then when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe." So Moses gave the Israelites this command from the Lord. The claim of the men of the tribe of Joseph is legitimate. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry anyone they like, as long as it's within their own ancestral tribe. None of the territorial land may pass from tribe to tribe, for all the land given to each tribe must remain within the tribe to which it was first allotted. The daughters throughout the tribes of Israel, who are in line to inherit property, must marry within their tribe, so that all the Israelites will keep their ancestral property. No grant of land may pass from one tribe to another. Each tribe of Israel must keep its allotted portion of land. The daughters of Zelophehad had as the Lord commanded Moses: Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, all married cousins of their father's side. They married into the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Thus their inheritance of land remained within their ancestral tribe. These are the commands and regulations that the Lord gave the people of Israel through Moses when they were camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River across Jericho. And on to Deuteronomy! Next stream. Not this one. Yeah, let me get water and then check chats. Make sure I'm not missing any last second questions. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to end it today. If you're watching me on Twitch, make sure to drop a follow so you can see the next one. If you're watching me on Kick, drop a follow, which I don't think there anyone is because no one watches Kick. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching. Because I try and do these as often as I can. I'm trying to grow as a Christian, and I'm streaming it even though I'm not a good reader. I don't know how to pronounce the names or anything like that. I'm streaming it because I want other people to join along with me in my journey, and maybe we could grow together, you know? And so yeah, if you want, like, subscribe, do whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it today. This is a very productive reading because we got through the rest of Numbers onto Deuteronomy hopefully tomorrow. And we'll get like 10, 11, depending on how long the chapters are. 10, 11 chapters. But yeah, I never know how to end it, so I'm going to keep rambling as I slowly move my mouse towards the stop streaming button. So I might just cut off